Have you ever wondered? What if we are not evolving toward the future, but awakening from the past? Right now, millions scroll through daily horoscopes, thinking astrology is just a cosmic fortune cookie. But what if I told you that the movement of the stars has been used for thousands of years, not to predict love lives, but to chart the rise and fall of entire civilizations? Here is a fact most people do not know. Every 2,160 years, the Earth enters a new zodiacal age. These are not just astrological fables, they are astronomical epochs. And we are living in one right now. Welcome to the age of Aquarius. But this is not about zodiac signs or quirky memes. This is about a global shift in consciousness, one so massive that it terrifies the very structures that hold the world together. Why does this matter? Because every ancient civilization, from the Mayans to the Egyptians, from Vedic India to Platonic Greece, obsessively recorded these cycles. The Great Year, as Plato called it, is a 25,920-year clock that the ancients believed governed not only time, but human destiny. What did they know that we do not? Take ancient Egypt. The Dendra zodiac, carved into temple ceilings, predicted the transition into Aquarius more than 2,000 years ago. In India, the Yuga cycle aligns disturbingly well with the astrological ages, describing a descent into darkness and an eventual return to light, much like our own digital age, battling for authenticity. Even the Christian calendar may have roots in these star cycles. The fish symbol of early Christianity? That is not random. It is the emblem of Pisces, the age we are now leaving behind. And that is what makes Aquarius so unique. It is the only age described not with an animal or beast, but with a human figure. The water bearer. But he is not carrying water. He is pouring it. What is he pouring? Knowledge, truth, awakening, and with every drop, old systems crack. So why are governments, religious institutions, and even entire economies so afraid of this age? Could it be because the age of Aquarius threatens the very core of centralized control? This is not about prophecy. It is about pattern. It is about a hidden architecture embedded in time itself, one we are only just beginning to remember. In this series, we will journey across continents and through time-decoding myths, monuments, and mathematical models that all point to one revelation: that Aquarius is not just a new chapter in history. It is a reboot of human consciousness. If you think this is just another astrology video, think again. Because once you understand the true story of Aquarius, you will never see the world or yourself the same way again. Subscribe now and hit like if you are ready to uncover the hidden frequencies that have shaped our past and will define our future. This is not entertainment. This is an initiation. Part 1. The Forgotten Age of Astronomy. What if I told you that right now, this very moment, the stars above you are shifting in slow, silent arcs, and that shift has more power to shape history than any king, war, or religion? It sounds like science fiction, but it is not. Here is something almost no one talks about. We are not only spinning through space, we are spiraling through a cosmic cycle so vast, so mathematically precise, it has been encoded in the myths of every ancient civilization. And yet, most of us have never even heard of it. This is not your average astrology. This is sidereal astronomy, the ancient study of the precession of the equinoxes. A cycle spanning roughly 25,920 years, during which the Earth slowly wobbles like a top, causing the spring equinox point to drift backward through the zodiac. That means every 2,160 years, we enter a new age. Think about that. Imagine if every chapter of civilization, each rise and fall of empire, each global paradigm shift was not random, but guided by a celestial rhythm. So why have we forgotten it? In ancient Egypt, this knowledge was sacred. The Sphinx, oriented precisely to face the constellation Leo at dawn, was not just an architectural wonder, it was a time marker. A cosmic calendar made of stone. The ancient Greeks, too, knew of this cycle. Plato wrote about the Great Era, vast period after which the positions of the stars would return to their original configuration. He hinted that these cosmic changes influenced the rise and fall of human consciousness itself. In Vedic India, the sages spoke of the yugas, golden, silver, bronze, and dark ages, each aligned to a grand cosmic rhythm. Their astronomical texts, the Surya Siddhanta, contain equations so advanced that modern scientists were baffled when they realized they predate Western discoveries by millennia. Even the Mayans, famed for their intricate calendars, based their long count on celestial cycles mapping cosmic ages with stunning accuracy. So how did modern civilization forget what the ancients considered crucial? To be honest, this is where things get personal. When I first stumbled upon the concept of precession, I felt betrayed, like someone had hidden a master clock from me, a cosmic compass pointing through time, and I had been taught to ignore the sky entirely. I remember sitting under the stars that night, realizing this was not mysticism. This was celestial mechanics. This was astronomy. And yet, the implications were more spiritual than anything I had learned in church. Because if civilizations rise and fall with the stars, what does that say about us? We are exiting the age of Pisces, which began around the time of the Roman Empire, an age marked by belief, hierarchy, and spiritual obedience. The fish symbol used in early Christianity? That was no coincidence. It aligned perfectly with Pisces. Now we are moving into Aquarius, a sign ruled by intellect, innovation, rebellion, and the distribution of knowledge. An air sign, not a water sign, despite the symbolism. The water the figure pours is not liquid, it is information. It is awakening. And here is where it gets wild. Every time humanity has entered a new age, the world changed radically, not in a day, but steadily, irreversibly. Kingdoms collapsed, religions rose, language evolved, art exploded, technology surged. We are not witnessing a digital revolution. We are experiencing a cosmic gear shift. This knowledge, this long-forgotten astronomical backbone of history, is not just fascinating. It is practical. It is predictive. It means we can stop reacting to chaos and start understanding the pattern. But it is not easy. Realizing this made me question almost everything. Is our sense of time too narrow? Are we spiritually out of sync with the sky? What does it mean to be alive at the very edge of an astrological age? And most haunting of all, if the ancients knew, why did they stop teaching it? Some say it was lost. Others believe it was hidden, suppressed. Whatever the reason, the truth is this. Our ancestors did not build pyramids, temples, and calendars aligned to the stars because they were superstitious. They did it because they remembered, because they were trying to remind us, to wake us up. We live in an age of noise, of speed, of artificial light that blocks out the stars. But the sky is still turning. The great clock is still ticking, and we are being invited to remember. So in the next chapter, we will decode how these ancient timekeepers embedded their knowledge into stone, myth, and mathematics, and what they reveal about the transition we are experiencing today. If this resonates with you, if something inside you stirred, even slightly, please subscribe, hit like, and stay with me. Because this is not just a documentary. This is our rediscovery of time itself. Part 2. The symbol of the water bearer in ancient cultures. What if the most powerful symbol in human history is not the cross, not the serpent, not even the sun, but a man holding a jug? Why does this seemingly simple figure, the water bearer, appear in temples, myths, and prophecies from cultures that never met, separated by oceans and millennia? And perhaps more chillingly, why is he always pouring? From the outside, the age of Aquarius might seem like a quirky new age meme. But the symbol of the water bearer predates modern astrology by thousands of years, and across the world, it was never portrayed as gentle. It was seen as revolutionary, disruptive, divine. Let me take you back, because once I saw the patterns, I could not unsee them. In ancient Mesopotamia, long before Greece or Rome, there was Enki, the Sumerian god of water, knowledge, and magic. Always depicted with flowing streams gushing from his shoulders or urns, Enki was not just a bringer of life. He was also a trickster, a rebel. He taught humans forbidden knowledge. He saved them from the flood. That archetype, the one who pours truth onto the world, is not unique to Sumer. In Egypt, the Nile itself was personified as Hapi, another water-bearer deity shown with vessels brimming over. He was the source of the flood, the annual inundation that fertilized the land. But Hapi was also unpredictable. When he withheld the waters, famine followed. When he gave too much, cities drowned. The water-bearer gives and takes. In Vedic India, a similar symbol emerges. The god Varuna ruled the celestial waters, and the cosmic order often shone with a pot of sacred water that governed karma. His waters were not just physical, but moral. They reflected your soul. The Greeks later refined this archetype into Ganymede, a divine cupbearer of the gods. A mortal abducted by Zeus for his beauty, Ganymede became immortal not because of war, power, or gold, but because he served the divine nectar. Ambrosia, the drink of immortality. Again, the motif returns. The one who pours is the one who bridges heaven and earth. But here is where it gets stranger. In the Hebrew tradition, the prophet Elisha tells a barren woman to gather vessels and pour. The miracle is in the act of pouring itself. An infinite stream of oil flows until the last jar is filled. This is not just myth. It is metaphor. The soul that pours truth becomes a source that never runs dry. By now, you might be wondering, how is this all connected? This is where I had to pause, because it felt like the universe was hiding something in plain sight. The water bearer is everywhere, but always shown during moments of upheaval. Floods, revelations, plagues, prophecy, knowledge. This is not coincidence. This is an archetype. And archetypes, as Carl Jung said, are not invented. They are remembered. From the Hopi tribes of North America to the Muisca of Colombia, water bearers appear in initiation rituals, sky lore, and prophecies. In some Andean myths, the bearer of sacred water returns at the end of an age marking not the destruction of the world, but its renewal. Even the Mayans, whose astronomical knowledge still baffles modern science, referred to a time when the sky jar will tip, unleashing not water but memory, a flood of consciousness. And that is what makes the water bearer so different from any other zodiac sign. Leo roars, Scorpio stings, Aries charges. But Aquarius does something much more dangerous. He reveals. He pours knowledge. And knowledge cannot be undone. I remember reading the Corpus Hermeticum, where Hermes Trismegistus speaks of divine intellect being poured like light from the sun into those who are ready. Not all can handle it. Some are blinded, others awaken. That sounds a lot like what the water bearer does it not? But here is the paradox that shook me. Water has always symbolized emotion, intuition, spirit, yet Aquarius is not a water sign. It is an air sign, intellectual, radical, forward thinking. So why use the symbol of water? Because the water bearer does not carry water. He carries meaning. He is not here to quench your thirst. He is here to show you that you have always been the ocean. I have to admit, I struggled with this. Part of me wanted Aquarius to be just a quirky archetype, easy to package, digestible. But the more I studied, the more I realized this figure challenges everything. He does not play by the rules of history, geography, or religion. He is bigger than all of them. He is the moment truth spills over. And that is why, in every tradition, the water bearer arrives at a turning point. Not to destroy, but to disrupt. Not to rule, but to awaken. So the next time you see that strange symbol of a man pouring from a jar, remember, you are not looking at decoration. You are looking at a warning, a promise, a doorway. And the question is, will you drink? In the next part of this journey, we will explore the astronomical mechanics that align with these myths and why Aquarius may already be here, influencing everything from technology to rebellion to the rise of spiritual individualism. If you have felt something awaken within you, something ancient-like, subscribe and join me as we continue uncovering the story the stars have always been telling. Because the water bearer has never stopped pouring. Part 3. The shift in power structures. If you woke up tomorrow and realized the very structure of power that governs your life, government, religion, media, economy, was not just corrupt, but obsolete, what would you do? What if obedience is not virtue but programming? And what if the system you were taught to believe in is not evolving, but crumbling? Welcome to the age of Aquarius. But do not be fooled by its poetic name. This is not an era of peace signs and crystals. This is a revolution of structure. A tectonic shift in how power is held, distributed, and even defined. Let me be honest, this topic unsettles me. Because once you begin to see how deeply power has been structured into every layer of society, it becomes impossible to unsee. And more than that, you begin to realize it is changing fast. For over 2,000 years, we have lived under the sign of Pisces. And Pisces, as beautiful and mystical as it sounds, is a sign ruled by hierarchy. It is about devotion, belief, sacrifice. Religions flourished in this age. Monarchies thrived. Empires expanded. Power flowed from the top down. You see this clearly in ancient Rome. The emperor was not just a ruler, he was a god. The Senate was a symbolic relic. The real decisions were made behind curtains. Citizens had rights on paper, but obedience was survival. In medieval Europe, the church became the ultimate authority. Popes excommunicated kings. Knowledge was hoarded in monasteries. Ordinary people were not allowed to read the Bible. Only priests, the intermediaries, could access the divine. Even in Asia, the mandate of heaven placed emperors beyond reproach. The cosmic order itself was structured around centralized, divine right. But what happens when the stars shift? As we enter Aquarius, we do not just move into a new sign. We move into a new frequency, one that is incompatible with vertical power structures. Aquarius is ruled by Uranus, the planet of disruption, rebellion, technology, and radical transparency. Think about that. A celestial force that rewards innovation and punishes control. And we are seeing it play out right now. The internet is a perfect example. It is not just a tool, it is an Aquarian manifestation. It decentralizes information. It empowers individuals. It makes the gatekeepers irrelevant. One teenager in a basement can now shake empires. Cryptocurrency does the same. It challenges the monopoly of central banks. It says, we do not need permission to value. That is Aquarian energy. But this goes deeper. Even our identities are decentralizing. People no longer define themselves solely by nationality, religion, or class. Instead, we see fluidity, gender, culture, belief systems. Aquarius honors the individual within the collective, not the collective crushing the individual. To me, this is both exhilarating and terrifying. Exhilarating because it means the soul is reclaiming sovereignty. Terrifying because those who built their power on obedience are not going to let go quietly. We are already seeing the reaction. Authoritarianism is rising not because the old world is strong, but because it is scared. Surveillance, censorship, and social control are last-ditch efforts to hold on to a crumbling Piscian structure, but it will not last. History shows that when cosmic ages shift, systems fall. Look at the end of the age of Aries, ruled by war and fire. As it ended, Rome burned. The temples of Mars were abandoned. Pisces rose, and with it came Jesus, the Fisher King. A new paradigm was born. Now, the cycle continues. But this time, the shift is not just political, it is existential. What does it mean to be human when your consciousness is more powerful than your passport? When data is more valuable than gold? When truth is no longer issued by institutions, but felt? This is why Aquarius threatens the system. Because it demands transparency. It rewards innovation. And it wakes people up. In ancient Sumer, knowledge was kept in temples and doled out by high priests. In Egypt, mystery schools guarded sacred wisdom for the elite. In medieval Europe, libraries were locked. Aquarius tears the doors off. It says, truth belongs to everyone. That is why the water-bearer pours. He is not a king. He is not a priest. He is not a CEO. He is you. You pouring what you know into the world. You disrupting the systems that do not serve life. You remembering that you were never meant to be ruled. And that, to me, is the most radical thing of all. We are not witnessing the end of the world. We are witnessing the end of a version of it. In the next chapter, we will explore how Saturn, the co-ruler of Aquarius, offers the tools to rebuild new systems, ones rooted not in obedience, but in resonance. If this stirred something in you, an unease, a hope, a fire, do not scroll away. Subscribe, like, join the conversation, because the pyramid is cracking. And what comes next depends on what we build. Part 4. The debate between science and mysticism. If everything you believe is based on reason, but reason itself is built on invisible laws, then what exactly is real? Why do the most precise scientists rely on concepts they cannot see, while mystics speak of energy fields that sound strangely like quantum theories? And here is the question that broke me open. If ancient mystics knew truths we are just beginning to measure, who was actually ahead? We are living in a world split between two towering temples, science and mysticism. One promises proof, the other whispers truth. One demands evidence, the other asks for trust. And for centuries, we were told to choose a side. But what if the most dangerous idea of all is that they were never separate? The age of Aquarius is not just about rebellion or technology. It is about synthesis, bringing together polarities we once thought were irreconcilable. And nowhere is that more urgent, more electrifying than in the battle between science and the sacred. Let us rewind. In ancient Egypt, the priests were also astronomers. The temple at Dendera, with its famous zodiac carved into stone, was not just symbolic, it was functional. They tracked the stars with more precision than medieval Europe would achieve for over 1,000 years. In Vedic India, the sages composed the Upanishads and developed sophisticated theories of time, space, and vibration. Their concept of Nada Brahma, the universe, is sound aligns eerily with modern string theory. Even in the Islamic Golden Age, figures like Alhazen and Avicenna fused rigorous logic with metaphysical insight. Alchemy was not just superstition. It was a coded language for transformation, both material and spiritual. Somewhere along the way, however, the split happened. It got worse in the 17th century. Descartes separated mind and matter. Newton gave us a mechanical universe. The Enlightenment lit the world with reason but cast mystery into shadow. I get it. Science gave us medicine, space travel, smartphones. But it also taught us to distrust our inner world. Intuition became pseudoscience. Visionary experiences were pathologized. But here is what stunned me. In 1905, Einstein's theory of relativity shattered the mechanical view of time. Time is not fixed, it bends. In the 1920s, quantum physics discovered that particles behave differently when observed. Reality depends on consciousness. By the 1980s, chaos theory revealed that tiny shifts could create massive, unpredictable effects, the so-called butterfly effect. These are not mystical statements. These are peer-reviewed, Nobel Prize-winning revelations. And they sound mystical. When I first realized this, I could not ignore the parallels anymore. I opened an old copy of the Kabbalion, a Hermetic text from the early 20th century based on ancient teachings. It says, the universe is mental. I compared it to what physicist Max Planck said in 1931. Mind is the matrix of all matter. They were saying the same thing. What if mysticism was never anti-science? What if it was pre-science? Not untrue, just unmeasured. Let us talk about vibration. In esoteric traditions, everything vibrates. Your body, your thoughts, your soul. This was once ridiculed. Now, modern neuroscience confirms that brainwaves, heart rhythms, and even DNA emit specific frequencies. The Earth itself hums at 7.83 Hertz, the Schumann resonance, something ancient shamans tuned into through trance, drums, and chant. Today, scientists use the same frequency to help regulate circadian rhythms in astronauts. Coincidence or rediscovery? Even sacred geometry, those spirals, hexagons, and golden ratios found in mandalas and temples, now appear in the DNA double helix, sunflower seeds, and hurricane patterns. Nature does not draw with a ruler. It uses code. To me, this convergence is not just fascinating, it is hopeful. Because for so long, we have been divided. The left brain from the right, the lab from the temple, the intellect from the heart. But Aquarius brings air energy intellect, but ruled by Uranus, the awakener. It says, combine what was divided. You can trust the microscope and your meditation. You can measure waves and feel them. You can code in binary and believe in synchronicity. And that, perhaps, is the greatest revolution of all. Because in a world craving answers, the most powerful stance might be curiosity, not certainty. So where does that leave us? It leaves us standing at the edge of a new paradigm. One where quantum physicists quote the Tao, where neuroscientists study monks, and where the line between mystic and mathematician begins to blur. And personally, that gives me chills. Because I no longer feel I have to choose between logic and wonder. I can live in both. And maybe you can too. In our next chapter, we will explore how this fusion is already reshaping how we learn, heal, innovate, and even relate to one another. So if you are tired of being told to pick a side, subscribe, like, and stay with me. Because the age of division is ending. And in the space between science and soul, something extraordinary is waking up. Part 5. Who is the water bearer? What if the hero we have been waiting for, the savior, the guide, the liberator, is not coming from the sky, but is already inside you? What if the water bearer is not a person at all, but a pattern? And what if that pattern is waking up right now, in your mind, in your choices, in your resistance to everything that no longer makes sense? Let us go deeper. For centuries, we have externalized salvation. We have looked to kings, prophets, messiahs. We have placed our hope in leaders, only to be betrayed. But Aquarius breaks that cycle. Its symbol is not an emperor or a god. It is a figure human, anonymous, pouring water. He has no face, no crown, no army. So who is he? To answer that, we have to understand what he does. He pours. He is not holding water. He is releasing it, constantly, freely. This is not a symbol of control. it is a symbol of transmission. And across history, this archetype appears again and again, just under different names. In the Vedic tradition, there is Saraswati, the goddess who flows with sacred knowledge. She is always shown beside water, pouring the river of wisdom into the world. She is not feared. She is not worshipped in silence. She is invoked. She is mirrored. In ancient Greece, the myth of Prometheus brings us a rebel titan who steals fire's symbol of divine knowledge and gives it to humanity. He is punished eternally for disrupting the gods' monopoly on wisdom. Sound familiar? In the Gnostic texts, Christ is not described as a savior who demands worship, but as a revealer, a bringer of hidden knowledge, a water-bearer. The Cathars of medieval France believed that true salvation came not from priests, but from inner gnosis direct knowing. That belief got them wiped out. But their message lingers. The divine is inside you. In every corner of history, when consciousness needed to rise, someone or something showed up to pour. And here is the twist. They were never the hero. They were the activator. The water-bearer is not the center of the story. You are. He just hands you the pitcher. Now, why does this matter? Because we are trained to wait. We are conditioned to think someone else will fix things. Someone more powerful. Someone more enlightened. But Aquarius destroys that illusion. This age does not need another guru. It needs water-bearers. People willing to speak the truth even when it trembles. People willing to pour what they know without fear of being emptied. People who understand that wisdom multiplies when shared. When I first realized this, it hit me hard. Because I was still searching for someone to show me the way. I was still doubting my own voice. But slowly, I began to see the water-bearer in unexpected places. The teacher who left the system to create a school based on curiosity. The coder who built a decentralized platform to free speech from censorship. The healer who combined science with spirit to treat trauma in ways medicine had abandoned. They were all water-bearers. No title, no robe, no sanctuary, just flow. And that changed the question for me, from who is the water-bearer to how do I pour? Maybe you have felt it too. A growing resistance to scripted reality. A sense that there is something inside you that does not fit the box, but does not want to escape. It wants to pour. You are not alone. In fact, many ancient prophecies, Hopi, Mayan, Vedics, spoke of a time when the eagle and the condor would fly together. When the masculine and feminine, the intellect and the intuition would unite. That time was called the Age of Remembering. That is now. And that is why Aquarius is not just a symbol, it is a role. It is the artist who paints with purpose. It is the whistleblower who risks reputation to speak what others deny. It is the mother who raises her child in awareness, not fear. It is the child who asks the forbidden question. Each is a stream, and together we flood the desert. So I ask you now, not as a narrator, but as a fellow wanderer, what are you holding back? What truth have you been carrying in silence? What wisdom is waiting to be poured? You do not need a pulpit. You do not need permission. You do not need perfection. You need presence. You are the water bearer the world has been waiting for. And the moment you pour, you remember. You were never empty. In our final chapter, we will look at how to live as a water bearer daily, practically, bravely in a world still addicted to drought. But for now, like, subscribe, and share this with someone whose cup is full and ready to overflow. Because the stream becomes a river, and the river becomes a tide. And the tide, my friend, is rising. Conclusion, the final question. What if you are the shift? If everything you thought was external, divine, powerful, transformative has always been inside you? What does that mean for how you live right now? What if the age of Aquarius is not just a cosmic event, but a mirror? And what it is reflecting is not the stars, but your potential. Across history, civilizations built pyramids, zodiacs, temples aligned with constellations, not because they were bored or superstitious, but because they believed time itself was alive. The Mayans counted the turns of Venus with mathematical precision. The Egyptians aligned temples to the heliacal rising of Sirius. Ancient China tracked Jupiter's 12-year cycle as a measure of imperial destiny. But here is the question no one asks. Why did all of them, cultures with no internet, no shared language, believe that human history and the cosmos were intertwined? Maybe they knew what we forgot. Maybe they sensed that we are not separate from the sky, but sensed to it. And maybe, just maybe, what is rising in the heavens is also rising in us. I remember the first time I looked up and realized the zodiac was not a superstition. It was a cycle, a clock, a pattern. I felt like someone had handed me a map of time itself. But that map was not just about predicting the future. It was asking me, what role will you play in it? Because this is not just about watching the shift. It is about being the shift. Being the water bearer in your family, your workplace, your community. Pouring truth where silence has ruled. Pouring vision where fear has settled. Pouring compassion where division thrives. And no, it is not easy. Aquarius is not about comfort. It is about evolution. It demands clarity. It rewards courage. It challenges everything that is false, including the version of you still hiding your voice. But that is what makes this moment different. You are not alone. There are thousands, millions of us feeling the same pulse, hearing the same call. And when enough of us pour what we carry, the world changes. So here is the final question I leave you with. If this is the age of awakening, will you stay asleep? Or will you rise? If this video stirred something in you, share it. Speak it. Type your thoughts in the comments. I read every one. This space is a constellation of minds. Every perspective is a star. And make sure you subscribe, because the next video dives into something even more mysterious. The ancient origin of the zodiac itself, and why 12 signs might actually be hiding a 13th gate. You do not want to miss what comes next. Because this is not just a series. It is your initiation. And it is only just beginning.